Sup nerds, welcome to episode 9 of the Omni4Game podcast. I am Sean, and as always, I have Chris and Brandon with me.
Hey guys, today's recap for the Omni4Game podcast. We start off with our usual locals recap, and then the first topic is we talk about Tamas, whether you play 4 or 5. Then we move on to semi-limited. Is that going to be a thing we could possibly see? We talk about the new Ulti Cup rules and how they're testing those things out. And then, surprise extra topic, BT14 best WarGreymon. Stick around to find out. If you guys like this content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and stick around for more episodes just like this.
Locals recap. Who wants to go first?
I'll just get mine out of the way. Me and Chris don't have our case of the set in yet, so we had to play
None of us
decks.
do, my guy. It's not just you two.
Yeah. Well, at least you were able to play a decently BT14-ish deck. So I played my blue Garu. It's basically the only deck I have built right now. I went break even. I went 2-2, and one of those wins was a bye. So round 1, I got pub stomped by Hunters. I played a Tamer turn 1, not knowing I was playing against Hunters. So I immediately played into Hunters and got punished for it. Game 2, I hard played my ace, the Garu ace. Because there's really nothing they can do about it early. There's nothing they can do about it early.
Bro, are you good?
But
No, I'm not good. Alright. I'm good.
I just saw the camera.
Yeah. Did you, like, drop your phone?
Yeah, my phone fell.
So.
Okay, anyway, you were getting thoroughly thrashed, Brandon.
Yeah, I got
Keep that
bodied.
Keep that in. Don't cut that. Don't cut that.
I'm
Not
not going to.
Yeah. No, so he opened up like King version memory setter, like both games.
Sounds good.
So you know,
It's the best
super
card in that
optimal.
deck.
And then round 2, I believe was my bye. Yeah, round 2 was the bye. Round 3, I played against Yellow Kintaro Smon with BT14 like support, like your Serafis and stuff like that. Odin's Breath's really good.
What, Sean? You got something to say?
Yeah.
I did end up.
If you lose, did you lose to that deck?
No, I beat it.
Oh,
I beat
okay. All right. Just making sure. That's what I was. That's what I was making that face for. I thought
It
you lost.
really did suck, though. It really did suck because I went into Omni X for game, and of course, the card that got trashed off the effect
Odin's
was
Breath.
Odin's Breath.
It was so good.
I was just like, son of a... So it delayed it by a turn. I had to wait a turn just to kill him.
Oh man.
Caleb had another anime pro tag.
Yes.
Activate.
And then, like, I don't want to throw too much shade at Caleb, because like we said, Caleb gets a lot of crap as it is.
Oh yeah, I think it's
But
hilarious.
He
I love Caleb.
he forgot what card he had recovered into his security using...
Kentoros. So like he had put it there, but he had forgotten.
Yeah, so he puts a Patamon in his security as the bottom card, and there's only one card left in security, and I had like 3 attacks on board, and I was like, all right, so it's game, right? He goes, I don't know, this card could be Odin's Breath, and I was like, it's Patamon. You put it there.
You put it there.
And then he just gave me the most defeated little,
I've heard him make that noise before. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I love Caleb.
that was fun. That was funny.
I mean, I'm personally guilty of doing that too. Like I'll put stuff somewhere, like in my security or stuff, and just forget.
I'll just forget. Yeah. And then round 4, I played against Sean. He'll tell you more about it because he got to play a little more than I did. But basically, if Garu's...
You got to play, dude. You womboed me both games.
Yeah, we're putting that in quotes because I didn't kill you. Garu wants to kill you the turn they wombo.
No.
But
Go back in time when the promo was unlimited.
Yeah, when I have 4 promos. I think I had enough of that. You got pretty tired of me playing that for 4 months straight. But yeah, once your 1 stack in Garu gets outed, you're kind of just dead. After that, there's just no recovering. Especially if you have the ace in your stack. There's no recovering. Yeah, that was my week. It was okay. I'm just excited for next week when I can actually play a proper BT14 deck.
Assuming your case comes
I can't
out.
wait to play against Luga after Luga.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 people at our locals trying to build that.
So I finished I started. It's a running joke. I started 2-0 and then finished 2-2. um, so round one, I played against Caleb with his Kentaros Mon deck. I mean, nothing to say. I mean, I get what he's trying to go for, but it's just like
It needs
the
more support.
vaccine stuff. The vaccine stuff just it works better in just vaccine stuff. Like Kentaros Mon's neat and stuff like that, but like you have to you're you're playing a yellow deck whose entire idea is to recover, and your entire core mechanic is I need to be at 6 security, or like both players.
Yeah.
It's just like if it was just like, hey, I'm at this specific number, that's different. Like we've seen that before, but it's like both player securities. Like you're never gonna be at 6 security if you run into like a vaccine yellow deck.
Oh yeah, you're never gonna hit that number.
I watched Ben go from like what was it, like 2 security to like 6 in like one turn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's his deck gonna do against that? Some like nothing. So, I was playing Imperial Dramon, by the way, because like Brandon said, we didn't have our new stuff in. Not much to say really. Like Odin's, the best card in that whole deck is Odin's Breath,
Mm-hmm.
and that's only if you get the -1 security. Go. Like that was it. So I won that round, and then round 2 I played against Hunters. Holding on to Hammer Spark until you have like just multiple to play out is just like really good. Like that's what like Sean can attest to this. He's really big on that. He'll hold all 4 Blinding Rays or all 4 Hammer Sparks until it's like I need to use them now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically what happened, I ended up winning 2-1. Game 3, he was swinging at my security. He hit a Hammer Spark, and he was at 2 memories, so he went to 0. So he couldn't choke me, so he just hard played a tamer. I didn't have a memory set or tamer. He literally could. I don't know what he could have done, but I needed to be at 3 memory to win. He could have done anything else. Put me to 1 or 2, I'm losing. He put me to 3. He played the tamer. He played Taiki to pass turn, and I just knew at that. This game's over.
The internal pop off.
Yeah. Promoted, hard played the Stingmon, DNA'd into Pyldramon, bounced his blocker, and then swing. Just Pyldramon stuff. Round I played against. Hold on. I played against Ben. The yellow vaccine deck. I think like it was like turn 1. Maybe turn 2. Oh, I say turn 1. It was like turn 2. He promoted the Patamon. Digivolved into WarGreymon.
Oh.
Huh?
Never mind.
Yeah, Digivolved into the WarGreymon from his security, the one of, and ended the turn with like I don't know 1, 2, 3, like 6 cards on board, and he hadn't paid like any memory.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was still at like 2 or 3 memory. Like
why don't you just Crimson Blaze him turn 1?
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything. He's
Yeah,
talking about he played Tamers for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I couldn't do anything. Like he's so far ahead of me at that point. Like it's just like there's nothing I can do. So I lost that one, and then round 4 I played against Bloom, and I blame myself for this loss because again we're not playing. We know about the ace cards obviously, and it's week 1 of it. I was telling Brandon this. I kind of akin it to or compare it to like hybrids when they first released. You had that if your opponent had a tamer on the board, you could get killed from there. Like if you were at 0 security. So my dumb self, game 1, and I almost was like, I'm done with Digimon. I'm retiring. I can't believe I just did this. I could have. If I did the math right, I could have killed him. But I got greedy with the XVmon. I swung at his security while he had a level 4, and he Lilymonned my board. And I just was like, okay, maybe just go home here. So basically, I could have cleared his whole board. It would have put him super far behind. He would have been like, I had HPD in my hand. Like it was like the best opening hand in the world. I had 2 Pyldramons. I had the Dragon mode, so I was gonna be able to spawn out multiple bodies. I was gonna pop off. It's like the opening hand, but I got greedy with like how like what is it called where you just do something to do it, like because you're so used to doing it.
Habit?
Muscle memory?
Oh, muscle
kind of
memory.
like muscle memory or
Stupidity.
what is stupidity. You just do something because you're so used to doing it, kind of like that. Where I promoted the XVmon, hard played the Stingmon, activated a Hammer Spark. No, I don't even think I need to activate the Hammer Spark. Anyways, so it was just like that. It was just that muscle memory where I just promoted the XVmon, played the Stingmon. I'm like, okay, swing with the XVmon, draw, and then he did it, and I was like, oh my.
It's like you were in autopilot because that's
Yeah,
the play. You
autopilot.
play,
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Play.
Yeah, I was just autopilot. Like I'm not thinking. I'm already thinking of like my moves ahead.
You're
know what
like,
I'm
this
talking
game's
about? Like,
over.
I'm not in the moment. Yeah, I'm not in the moment. I'm thinking of my next play already. Like this is just something I'm doing. This is just something I do
took
all
your
the
eyes
time
off
with
the
this
ball.
XP Yeah. So yeah, that happened game 1. Game 2, I let him do his little Bloom Lord shtick. Let him fully extend. He did his little wombo combo. All his Digimon are suspended. I'm at like I can't remember how much memory. Maybe I go to 5 because I have the Ken and Davis. I fighter mode his whole board.
All of
Send
it.
them all. I'm talking like 5 Digimon, all to the bottom of his deck. He can't. There's no recovering for him at that point.
Mm-mm.
And then game 3, I couldn't find a blue level 4 XVmon. I just lose from there. You know, like once he's seen me do the fighter mode like once, like he's just like he's never gonna try and have like a board like that again to let me
Play
do it to him
into it.
again. Yeah, so just like I never played into the Blast Ace again. Like
I would hope
once
not.
it happened once of us, yeah, it's just not gonna happen again. So, and the thing was too, I think when I did that, I was like, I'm gonna bounce his level 4. It was like it was the flower one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to
Sunflower.
bounce that. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna bounce that, so you know he can't go into level 5, and etc. etc. And then I attacked anyways, and I'm so I ended up X2. It's really my own fault. Yeah,
Trash.
so Sean has a much more interesting story. When are we gonna see that video uploaded, Sean, of the Wombo combo?
So, anyways, my case has also not come in, so I cannot play, or I was unsure if I was going to be able to play like something from BT14. Thankfully, I arranged before the tournament to be able to get the couple of blue trainings and the couple of Zudos I needed to play blue hybrid. So I was able
He's
to
like
play
a homeless man at a red light. Spare some training cards, some
Please.
Zudomons, please.
Please.
Sir, please. Some training cards, please.
But I was able to play full power blue hybrid, thankfully. Round 1, I played against Royal Knights, and that's
Awful for them.
That's relatively free because whenever I want, I can just hard play Zudo and start bouncing their stuff back or Evo into it.
Yeah.
So like
Just Sora Joe exists.
yeah, Sora and
Like,
Joe's also a good card. Game 1 he checked like 1 or 2 out of security, and I was like lit.
Thanks, you've lost.
But basically both games I let him like poke me a few times and get like 4-ish sources underneath his Drazel. But once he got to that point, I just started bouncing everything back, so he never got enough to like swarm me with Omnimon, and just killed him over the course of a couple of turns of doing that, because like you end up with like 5 dudes on the field if you just do that for a couple of turns.
Thanks. I don't think they really have a board wipe. Like they can't go like wide with the removal, or can they?
Not really. Dynasmon into something else can clear all your level 4 or lowers, but like if your field is a bunch of level 5s, they can't really do much.
Yeah, they're not touching much.
Can't the ult force bounce stuff back? But I mean, like that's just bad for him.
Yeah, I mean it can bounce one thing.
Yeah,
What's he gonna do? Bounce back the Zudomon to your hand?
Yeah, I mean he gains 3 memory back, but I'm like, cool. I guess we're just gonna do this constantly and just gonna bounce it back. So I won that, and I realized at the end of that match that the screen on my phone, which is what I used to record my gameplay, just did not work. Like I still have not gotten my phone to come back on. Like the phone is functional because it vibrates and stuff, but the screen is broken. I'm gonna have to get that fixed today, but sadly, I was not able to record content last night, which I'm really upset about. So I have to figure out what I'm going to...
specific game.
Huh?
For one specific game, that would have been really nice to have recorded.
Well, I mean, it would have been nice to record, 4 matches so I'd have, videos to put up. But, so I couldn't record. Round 2, I played against Ben's Yellow Vaccine deck. And it's not like... It's a relatively even matchup, but if he sees Bulkmon with his Pata, like BT6 Bulkmon with his Pata early... that's really bad because I'm like super far behind because it's just 2 free checks on his second turn.
It's kind of like what you used to do to me back in the day during the Bond format.
Yeah, promo Greymon. Yeah, but it's 2 checks with jamming, so like it's only dying to options.
It's free.
Yeah, and both games versus Ben, I had 0 tamers in my security. Which is gonna happen some percentage of the time, but it's just like pretty poor RNG on my end. But I got 2-0'd by Yellow Vaccine. And then round 3, I played against Bloom. And game 1 took like 25-30 minutes. Like Mel just like kept swarming the field, and I opened kind of a slow hand. And I should have scooped because like I had the ability to like kind of like force him to work for it. But I should have just scooped because I was just dragging out like the inevitable because I don't think I was ever winning that game after a certain point. But to save time, I should have scooped. Game 2, Mel started out with 2 of the Palmons after like the second or third turn. The Palmons that at the beginning of your turn you draw an extra card. And like they'd been on the field for a couple of turns. And
those hands building.
Yeah. He had like 12, 13 cards in his hand at one point, and I went into a Mirage to pass turn, and I bounced over that turn. I bounced everything but the 2 Palmons on his field because I like Zudo'd bounce something and then Mirage bounced the other thing, and then he just had 2 Palmons. The Mirage effect gained memory back to where I choked him to 1, and in the beginning of his turn, they both triggered, drew cards, and then Mirage gained the memory to push it back on my side. And like
ending his turn.
Yeah, it ends the turn. It's my turn now. Skips the breeding phase, so Mel didn't even get to hatch. And I didn't do it on purpose. I just did it to like pass turn and like bounce everything but the 2 Palmons.
But that little Agumon in that wheel up there was going.
But once it happened the first time, I was like, oh, I win. So once that happened the first time, I just started playing. Like I was like, I'm never attacking you again. I just started playing tamers to pass turn, and then they would trigger, and then it would be my turn again. And I did that like 3 or 4 turns in a row before Mel scooped because I was like, I'm not gonna attack you. Like I'm just gonna deck you out. There's no reason for me to do anything else. This is like 100% win condition. So Mel scooped after like 3rd or 4th turn of me doing that. That was one of the best feelings I've ever had in this card game was
I believe
stun locking someone under their own stuff to where like they literally just can't play. Like literally can't play. Like not like
so a small explanation of how the Palmons are mandatory. They are mandatory draw a card
at the beginning of your turn.
Because it's the beginning of their turn, the Mirage Galgamon then gets to see that and trigger. So even if they triggered the Mirage Galgamon like during their turn, as soon as the Palmon triggers, it's the next player's turn. Mirage sees that and gets to trigger again. So once Mel had a big enough hand, even if Sean would have passed to 3 memory, it would have gained 4 memory, ending the turn. So that's how that worked. It was a constant loop. There was literally no way out of it. Yeah,
the only way out of it would be for me to be dumb and like do something about the Palmons or like swing at security or something. But yeah, it was 100% win condition. I was just gonna start slamming stuff or just hard passing. Eventually, if Mel didn't scoop, which Mel ended up scooping and went to game 3. We didn't have a lot of time left in game 3. We ended up going into turns pretty quickly. And I had a turn, on my last turn in time, I had lethal on board. I had 4 swings and Mel had 3 security. But playing in Yu-Gi-Oh, you develop like the ability to tell when people have stuff in their hands. I'll have to edit that out. Like when people have like gores or hand traps and stuff like that, like you get a feel for it because of their body language.
Gores.
And
is such a good card. I love that card.
Mel had a level 4 on the field, and I had lethal. But Mel was holding his hand in a way and like kind of flicking cards to where I could tell he had an ace card in his hand. Like it was 100% obvious to me. So I was like, that really sucks. There's nothing I can do to play around it. Like I was trying to think of a way to like get the level 4 off the field before I swung, but I didn't have a way to do that without passing turn. So I just played for the draw. So I just bounced Mel's field to where like he couldn't lethal me on his turn, and then he ended up showing me the ace like on his turn. He like evoed into it to like do something, but I knew it was in his hand. So we ended up drawing. If we hadn't gone into time, I would have won that game pretty easily.
I think you had lethal the next turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have had lethal the next turn. Like once I got rid of like his stuff, like he just would have died the next turn.
Yeah, so if you would have had like an extra minutes before time, you'd have been fine.
But it's my fault for not scooping earlier in game 1 to save time.
Yeah, it's something really tough to tell like during a tournament is when to scoop. Because when you're in the moment, you're not thinking, I need to scoop this game. You're thinking, I need to win this game. There are those times where you're just like, I need to concede. This is taking too long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to let go because like you don't want to like accept the loss.
You don't want to admit it. Yeah.
But a lot of times it's better for you to just scoop if there's like a 99% chance you're not going to win that game and you're just going to drag out the round and potentially push you into time. It's better for you in the long run to just scoop those games. And then round 4, I played against Brandon's Melga deck. He womboed me both games and went into Omni4X both games and left me at like, I think he left me at 0 security game 1 and like 1 security game 2.
Yeah.
But then I just blew hybrided stuff, and being able to Zudomon and pull his ace out of his stack and just gain 4 memory for free feels really,
hard play
really
Zudomon
good.
for 0?
Yeah. Yeah, playing against ace cards with a blue hybrid or just the ability to source strip, it feels really unfair.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I mean, fun for you. Wasn't that
it
wasn't that fun for me.
Yeah, so Brandon went into Omni4X both games, but I still 2-0'd him because once he went into Omni4X, I just got rid of his stack and lethaled him before he had a chance to set up a new stack.
Yeah, I was always kind of building poverty stacks too. Like me and Chris always have this running joke that every time Sean plays a deck that has X antibodies, he opens up Agumon, Agumon X, Greymon, Greymon X, Metal Gray X. So, maybe that comment about the BT14 WarGreymon being good because you need a 10-card combo by turn 2, maybe Sean can pull that off. I don't know anybody else who could.
Oh, even with that, that's not enough draw power. I've done the math.
No, so like what you do is you just know that it's all those cards you're going to draw into when you start evoing. That's how you do it.
It's just my camera angle, Judge.
I have a hat.
No, you promote and you just know what you're going to draw into when you evo. That's how you do it. That's how you 10-card combo in turn 2 is you just evo and draw the cards that you need.
I had no problem with that guy. I had no problem with that guy saying that. He said by turn 2.
Yeah, when he said turn 2 and you were like,
I was like, no. Okay, yes. If I open up all 10 cards, I need.
Yes.
And it's like you start with 5 cards. So, because in his instance, you have to go first. So you're only opening up 5 cards.
Agumon and Tai.
That's true, yeah.
Agumon and Tai. And guess what? You're only drawing 1. So I did the math. I'm like, your math isn't mathing. You can't get all 10 of these cards.
There is no way to turn 2 this unless you just stack you literally stack your deck and just know that you're going to draw into the combo.
If he would have said like, I don't know, like turn 4 or 5, I'm like, okay, sure. Like, makes sense. Okay. That's more reasonable. Turn 2?
As someone who's played WarGreymon OTK with what I think is a more streamlined OTK than that 10-card combo, it's not as consistent as you think it is, even when it's only like 4 to 5 cards.
My big issue with the card, we're going to keep bringing this up. This is going to have to be renamed to the 14 Hate Omni4Game podcast. That's just going to have to be our thing. That's our gimmick now. The problem with it is it doesn't unsuspend. Like, it has raid for one.
That's my biggest issue with it.
It doesn't unsuspend, and you only get the other two effects based on whether or not you have a tamer on the board.
Mm-hmm.
It's too situational. It's like there's not enough keeping the card relevant once it's on the board. Yes, Chris.
But Brandon, why don't you just play the black Agumon that gives an inheritable reboot?
You mean the toy Agumon?
Same difference, Sean. Come on.
It's the same. It's an Agumon, right?
Yeah. Anyways, I came in third at locals, by the way, since I didn't get to finish my locals recap. I came in third.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No prizing for Sean today.
Yeah, we only paid out top two. Got wrecked.
Yeah, get wrecked. But yeah, I mean, guys, just play BT12, WarGreymon. Just he's better. He keeps raid.
Black WarGreymon.
I think Black War X is going to be the best Greymon deck this format.
Oh, it's going to be really good.
It's going to be
redirecting attack is very good.
Much better against the field than trying to OTK people with no defense.
I think if Blue Hybrid comes back and or even that I think the Gomamon deck could be like a sleeper because it all synergizes with itself. But
yeah,
if that becomes like a really popular deck, I could just see X antibodies, like people who want to counter that, just bringing back X antibody cards.
Oh yeah, Ben was literally playing 2 X antibodies in his list last night, and he did it because he knew Blue Hybrid. And it was actually one of the reasons why I lost game 1 is because I couldn't bounce his stack with Zudo.
Like, I'm actually playtesting Lugamon with X antibody in it specifically because I know there's like 3 or 4 people playing Blue Hybrid in our locals. Like, if nobody's playing Blue Hybrid, that's just going to be missed memory boost, which I think is a better card for the deck because it increases consistency. But because I know I'm going into a format with Blue Hybrid galore, I'm playing X antibody because A, all the Lugamon line is X antibody, and B, because it's a good card against Blue Hybrid.
That's one of the reasons.
It's the only reason it's in the deck.
One of the reasons why Black War X is going to be good is because it naturally plays X antibody.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
So my topic for this week is something that it took me a couple formats. I think it maybe took all of us a couple formats to start doing. 4 Digitama versus 5 Digitama. This is actually something that came up extremely recently, as just last night when I was playing against Ben, while he was bending me over and spanking me. He was playing the 4 of the Kiaromon. Is that the one that gives jamming?
Mm-hmm.
And then one,
I think it's
Tokomon?
Yeah, I think it's Tokomon.
And the Toko is the one that allows you to draw a card if you interact with your security.
I think if you recover specifically.
Right. The Kiaromon is if you interact with your security, you gain jamming. So he had Digivolved into the Seraphimon, the BT14 one, which very good card. I think we all knew that was going to be a good card through pre-release. He attacked my security, and because he didn't have the Kiaromon underneath it and had the Tokomon, ended up dying to the very first check, and he had like 3 to 4 security checks on that thing. So it took him, I don't know, 1 more turn to kill me. So it's just like little things like that where there's positives and negatives to playing 4 Tama and 5 Tama. Obviously the positives with just playing 4 is you know exactly what you're hatching. Because I remember back in the day when I used to play 5 was, God, I hope I don't hatch the 1-up. But we had that thought of when we were 5 is we don't want to run out of Tama because our format was a little bit slower then. And you needed that Tama bound there for the draw power because we didn't have mulligans. And Ben said himself was the reason why he's playing 5 is because with the new vaccine cards, you're always promoting that Patamon. Always. So he always wants to make sure he has a Tama down there to Digivolve and promote with. and because I believe the Angemon it hatches a Tama on deletion, right? So it's little things like that where it's like you got to decide what kind of deck you're playing. Where maybe if we do go into a slower format with like decks Blue Hybrid, which I mean maybe it's not going to be so slow with if Lugamon becomes really popular and like they're killing you in 3 or 4 turns. But maybe some of these slower formats can bring back a fifth Tama if we're promoting from the raising area as soon as we hatch, because I like to build in my raising area, especially in like big 1-stack decks. So you normally don't go through all 4. So what do you guys think?
So I was gonna say specifically with the Ben example, just a few weeks ago when he was playing Alliance, he actually got hard punished for not playing 5 Tamas because he's playing a green deck that plays
Mimi.
like stuff like Mimi, where you can turbo your Tamas out. He ran out of consistently during that tournament, and he sat there afterwards like we were talking about it, and he was like, I think I need to play 5 Tamas. So there are certain situations where if you're playing a card like an Analog Youth or a Mimi or anything like Shine Ruin Mode that can hatch you an extra Tama, you sometimes...
Oh, Genai? Did you say Genai?
Genai.
Genai. The Ukamon, he does it as well. That hatch you Tamas more quickly. There's that always thought process of, do I need one because I want to be turboing through these so quickly? For me, I think it was around BT5, maybe a little sooner. I can't remember exactly, where the 5th Tama just became almost irrelevant because
with hybrids, you think?
Yeah, no, because hybrids were around. Well, I mean, are we talking the first hybrids, or are we talking like the set that gave us all the hybrids?
I'm thinking of the first one.
That's BT4.
I'm thinking that's when I started cutting them. Is that BT4? Yeah. Maybe it was BT5.
Once we started hitting archetypes as decks, I think 4 Tamas became necessary due to consistency. Because I think blue right now, for instance, probably has the best range of Tamas because you have so many generically good draw Tamas. We just got the brand new jamming Tama. Like, they have the best generic level 2s, in my opinion.
I think yellow could compete with them.
I could see that, yeah. Especially since they've got a jamming Tama.
If you're playing red, you're playing one of the two. You're either playing the Koromon that draws you one, or you're playing the Koromon that gives you extra DP.
And if you're not playing a Greymon deck, you're playing the Greymon.
If you're playing red and it's not Greymon, what are you playing red?
Yeah, what are you playing? Bird.deck?
Yeah, you play
it's not red. It's not red. It's Agumon. That's what color it is.
It's what?
Don't talk. It's Agumon.
Yeah, there is no real red deck. Oh, that's true.
When you talk about colors, when you talk about colors in Digimon, there's blue, yellow, purple, white, black, green, and Agumon.
Yeah, Greymon, I think you mean, but yeah.
Agumon starts it. Okay.
There's Greymon in yellow. There's Greymon in red. There's Greymon in black. What color Greymon do you want to play?
We need Greymon in green. Where is he at?
Yeah, we got Agumon in green. I don't think we ever got a Greymon line in green, though.
We didn't. No. Rusty is Agumon's line in green, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean, what do you think about this Thomas situation?
I can't remember when I switched from 5 to 4. I think it was either 1.5 or BT4 format.
I think it was Lord Nightmon for me. I think that's when I just started playing 4, because that's when I had to consistently just build in the raising area until you promoted out your Lord Nightmon. So you didn't want to see your 5th Tama. You wanted to always see that one Tama.
I'd have to go back and look at my old deck profiles to see when exactly I switched, but like I made the realization that I never want to see the 5th Tama, and I'm almost never gonna hatch that 5th Tama in most games anyway. So like normally I only play 4 in most decks, and I could probably get away with playing 2 to 3, honestly, if I had to. Like for single stack decks, I haven't played a deck that I felt like warranted a 5th Tama in a long time. But I definitely agreed that Ben needed to add a 5th Tama, like, because we were testing for a while and he was playing 4. And when I was playing Blue Hybrid, he would just run out of Tamas. And once he ran out of Tamas, the game was over because he was never going to have anything that would stay on the board or not get stun locked.
Yeah, that Patamon, he needs it. He has to come out of raising it. Yeah, so like I agree. Like a 5th Tama in that situation is like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Also, guys, if you want a funny tech card to combo, or not combo, but to stop Yellow Vaccine, there's a funny little card called Digimon Emperor. Just throwing that out there.
I've been messaged me one day and he was like, hey, if I promote and they have a Digimon Emperor on the field and like it pulls the memory back on their side, does it skip my main phase? And I was like, yes, your Patamon does not trigger. He was playing against Josh and apparently that happened, and I started laughing when I read his question because I was like, dude, you got wrecked.
Get riggedy wrecked.
Riggedy wrecked. Yeah,
I'm telling you, give us side decks. I'm putting Digimon Emperors in my side deck.
Dude, there are so many
After
cards.
what he did to me,
there's so many good cards that we like. They would be so much better if we had access to side decks. Because like Digimon Emperor is a really good one, but like super niche,
especially against like Lugamon as well. Because Lugamon can just promote their level 3 Mind Link and then combo from there. But if you have Digimon Emperor,
I might just start putting Digimon Emperor in my deck, dude. 4 Digimon Emperors.
I mean, it counters your Blue Hybrid deck as well, because 9 times out of 10, you're just promoting your floodgates.
Yeah, it also counters BT14 Agumon, a card that everyone thinks super good. They're like, you can evo into Greymon for free, but like you're at 0. So
I've turned.
Comment down below if you're one of those people who bought out that Agumon.
Yeah.
Hey, how good you know how good I feel? Guys, I want my credit. I traded one Commandramon last week for an Altar Agumon, and that card's popping off right now, guys. Boom, I want my credit.
You traded a regular Art Commandramon for an Altar Agumon?
You're darn right I
did. So you reverse Armageddon somebody.
Yeah, I think we threw in some regular art, like common Brigadramon stuff as well, but yeah,
you threw in bulk. You didn't actually. Yeah, here's some pack filler, bro. Who'd you get that from?
I can't remember. I can't remember who it was last week. It was Rough. It was Rough.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
To be fair, that Agumon's not going to be worth much in like a week or two.
I mean, it's currently sitting at about 40.
It is currently the best card in the entire game. I'm trying to get likes on this video, Brandon. Will you stop? BT14 Agumon and BT14 Security WarGreymon are the best cards in the game.
The entire BT14 Greymon line is superior to anything we've had in the past.
Thank you.
Because if it weren't superior to the old stuff, why would it be printed now? you know, it's new, so obviously it's better. That's objectively correct.
If they wanted to make it as objective as possible, they should have printed WarGreymon Superior Mode. Perfect.
God, dude. I'm just having flashbacks to looking at Caleb's hand while he was playing his Greymon deck versus Mel, and it was all cards from BT14 mixed with the starter deck cards, and I was like, dude, this is dealing me psychic damage, and I'm not even playing the game.
Caleb doesn't deserve this. He's playing the best deck in the game right now. Hey, I love him. I hope he listens to this, but I was laughing so hard earlier tonight. Someone was watching him play his vaccine deck. I think it might have been Will. Will was watching Brandon and I think Caleb play, and Will goes, "Is this deck any good?" And Caleb goes, "Yeah." And I think he ended the night like 0-4.
No, like, you cut out. What did Caleb say?
Will asked him. He said, "Hey, is this deck any good?" Asking him about the Kentarosmon deck, and Caleb goes, "Yeah, I think good." And I think he finished the night like 0-4, and I'm like, Caleb.
Did you cut out again?
Did I really?
Yes.
Yeah, same part.
Every time when I get to that part?
Yeah, same part of this.
Okay.
I mean, it's clear that you're saying Caleb said, I think it's good.
Caleb says he thinks Kentarosmon's very good, and he finished the night 0-4.
No, you had to buy.
I'm not counting that as a win. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't count those.
Buy, that doesn't count.
Those
That doesn't count.
Oh, we got to buy round 4. Oh, gross.
Yeah. That's why I went home early.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's the worst, dude. When you're 0-3 and you get to buy round 4, I also would have left.
Why did I show up?
I've been like, see you guys next week, I guess. I'll leave.
Yeah. Now imagine you had to stay because you're the one running the dang thing. Feels bad.
So, anyways, guys, like we were saying, I think it's very situational. Play your deck, and then determine from there how often you come out of raising. Like I think something like even Commandramon could do it because of how like they want to rush the board. They could get away with playing 5. Vaccine, I think after watching Ben play and like you said, all the testing, that deck could run 5.
I think it 100% needs to run 5.
Yeah,
it's just sad that there's an objectively worse Tama in their stack.
Yeah. Well, it like I said earlier tonight, it literally punished Ben for not hatching the right one. So it's definitely gonna happen. It's just gonna be one of those things where it's just like you gotta weigh your options, and sometimes having the 5th Tama is gonna be better. And if we get into a slower format where maybe people are trying to rush the board with their level 3s, maybe we go back to 5. I don't think I'll go back to 5 just because I like consistency. I don't want to see the 5th one most of the time. Like if I was playing Yellow Vaccine, yeah, sure, I'm probably gonna play a 5th one. So again, it's just I think it's still super situational, but I like the consistency of hatching and knowing exactly what I'm getting.
Yeah, not having to shuffle my Tama stack. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite part was
don't hand your opponent your Tama stack and say, "Do you want to cut?" Don't do that. What are you? Don't do that.
Yeah, no, don't do that, guys.
Ben did that to me round 2. He handed it to me, and instinctively I just started shuffling. But I was like, "Why did you hand this to me, dude? I don't care."
Don't hand me your Tama.
And I was like, I'm gonna try to put the Tokomon on the very top of your stack just to punish you. But obviously I messed it up. I think I put it on the bottom.
Don't do that, guys. Don't come on, really, come on.
Yeah, no. Objectively, the best part of playing only 4 Tamas is if you have one Tama that's like low rarity, you can just always have it sitting on the bottom. So everybody thinks your Tamas are all blinged out, but really you have like a low rarity one at the bottom.
Back when I was playing Lord Nightmon in like BT7 format, I think. Or no, it was something where I had a yellow Tama stack, and I had one event pack Upamon. I had that on the top of the stack because I was only playing 4, so it was always the first one I hatched.
All right, so my topic for this week is what do we think is the possibility that we will eventually get semi-limited in the ban list, restriction list, which for those
it's never going to happen. Next topic.
Yeah, right. So
honestly, it probably won't.
I think they've shown they've been willing to do something interesting with the ban list recently by taking cards off. But I've seen some people calling for semi-limits, which if you don't know what that means, this is a term used in other card games. It means instead of hitting the card to 1 or banning it, you only limit it to like 2 or to 3 or something of that nature. So
I'll ever be 3.
No.
Why even hit it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason people are calling for a semi-limit for cards to go to 2 is because it allows them to hit cards that are the problem. Because a lot of things in this card game are being hit not because of this card being broken, but they're hitting the cards around the card that's broken. Most recent example, of course, everybody's been up in arms about is Apocalypse. Instead of just hitting Apocalypse because he's a secret rare and they don't want to tank the sales of their set, they hit 3 purple cards that went in the Apocalypse deck. So if you
I don't even blame the Apocalypse though. That's not the Apocalypse card's fault. Like those cards are degenerate.
Yeah,
like,
I think
that's not its fault.
Eismon and Eismon Scatter Mode are both really good.
Well, the problem is the Garu engine is very strong for generically just any deck. Because it allows you to fill your trash stupid fast.
That's what I'm saying. It's not.
Eismon also helped with that.
Yeah, like any card, Eismon literally lets you see so many cards into your deck.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily agree with this as an option, but I do think it is something that could be brought forth. Because it doesn't work in a lot of other card games. I'll use Yu-Gi-Oh! As an example. The semi-limited list was only full of cards that were gross when you had access to 3, but were nearly...
malicious.
Malicious. That was the example I was going to use.
Yeah.
But it's actually, not as OP when you only have 2.
And borderline bad.
Yeah. Because the whole point of that is you got to spawn 3 bodies, essentially for free. But if you can only do 2, it wasn't as bad. It was good, but it wasn't borderline busted. But in Digimon, the reason this is good, I'm putting in quotations, is because you're cutting a card in half. So instead of having a full 4 copies or only having 1 copy, you have half the amount of copies. You can have 2. And there are already cards that we play as 2 of. Imagine we can finally get Jet Sylphie. They could put Jet Sylphie to 2.
No.
I think it can go to 4.
Be quiet.
They could put Greymon X to 2. Again, it could go to 4, but
I'll say this, I agree with you, it'll never go to 3. At that point, why even do anything?
Yeah.
But if you look at this from it's so easy to do this in Digimon because there's 4. You can have 4 of every card, right? It's the percentage thing. And instead of having 100% of the card, you hit 2 of them. Now you get 50%. That's if you go from taking a card from limited to semi-limited, you increase it by a whole 25% chance of seeing it. So it just makes sense. You go from 25% to 50%.
Yeah.
It's easy.
It should be used only for cards that are genuinely a problem. Imagine instead of Baomon being banned or hit to 1 like Sean wants, you can only have 2.
It needs to be banned.
So now the Lugamon deck has to play 2 other Tamas.
No.
So they have 50% chance of whiffing on their Tama.
It needs to be banned.
Sean, get over it. All right, he's a cute boy.
I don't care.
Leave that pupper alone.
He needs to go to 0 because if my opponent hatches Baomon turn 1 when it's at 1, I will be mad.
You look at him.
It's a cute boy.
You accept
Sean, that's a cute boy.
You look at him.
I won't even be mad when it's killing me. I'll just be like, "That's a cute boy. That's a good boy. That's a sweet boy."
Hey, what that dog doing?
What the dog doing?
No, but
OTKing you through 5 security.
Alliance does what?
Yeah, wait, what? Yeah, I think a semi list would be cool. I don't know if Bandai would be willing to do it. I can't remember exactly what language they used in their ban list updates, but the language they use makes me think that there's not even a consideration for them for some reason.
I don't think they'll do it.
I don't think they will either. I think it's an interesting idea.
We also didn't think they were going to take cards off.
That's just because we never had proof that they were going to do it. Now that we know they're going to do it,
we assumed they would at one point. We just didn't know how far into the game we would be before they started doing that, which obviously was sooner than I think we thought. But I think we all assumed that they would eventually do that because, if a card's power creeps to oblivion, why is it on the ban list or the limited list?
Right.
I agree. I think Jet and Greymon X would be perfect cards that you could test at 2 instead of 4.
Yeah.
If you're that worried about them, because those are cards so far past. What is Jet gonna do right now? I think the vaccine deck is so much better than what a yellow hybrid deck could do. Than what's the point? What's stopping them?
And Jet and the hybrids are not vaccines, so they would not really fit well on that deck.
Yeah. So
I don't even think they play it.
You'd have to play a yellow hybrid. There's either yellow hybrid or you're playing vaccine, and I think one deck's a little bit better than the other.
Yeah, the vaccine deck has it has a quicker it has a better turn 2 game than the yellow vaccine deck. The yellow vaccine takes a couple turns to set up, but yellow vaccine or the hybrid deck takes a couple turns to set up, but the yellow vaccine deck has a really quick turn 2 play.
Yeah, you can just promote Pata and pop off.
So I'm gonna guys go back and rewatch our set review. Every yellow card that was in that set that was vaccine, I want to bump my rating up by one level.
Just by one.
Yeah. After watching what it did to me, like I've seen it in play before, but like after it's happened to you and you have to sit there and watch it, you're like,
you have a new appreciation for it.
Yeah, no, not appreciation of a wow. Okay, yeah, you're doing stuff. It's my turn. Oh, your TKs. Yeah, you get a.
I regret convincing Ben to put Rapidmon in the deck
as a 4 of.
He only played 3 last night, but I regret like even talking to him about it because like that's being able to evo into Rapidmon for negative memory is just such an insane ability.
Is actually crazy.
Yeah, not a fan, but yeah, hopefully
watching a good player.
Does the floodgate stop those?
Does what? No, nothing stops that. It's just evoing.
I wasn't sure if it was like reduce the cost or
no, it just evos into it for free.
Gah.
I hate to say it, and I know they were playing 2 different decks, but immediately going from round 1 playing against Caleb in his Vexing Kentaro Swan deck versus Ben, and watching how like different pilots were, and obviously, and nothing against Caleb. I love that boy. He's a good, sweet boy. But Ben's been playing this deck for like weeks against you, right, Sean?
We've been grinding on the sim. Like I've played so many matches versus him.
He's had so much experience with the deck. Knows what he's doing, and like it just watching him and every little play he makes, he knows exactly what's in his security, what he's digivolving into, everything that's gonna happen, and I'm just sitting there watching him, and I'm just like, I hate this, I hate you, I hate this deck, I hate everything about you and your dumb little hat. You're not even wearing the right hat, Ben.
He wasn't wearing a hat. I don't think
he was wearing a regular
ball cap, right?
He was wearing a snapback. He was wearing a snapback. He was not wearing his bowler hat.
Yeah. Where's the little
he was wearing a hat last night?
He was.
There was a hat.
Sean, ever since we've given him crap for not wearing a hat one week, he's always come back with a hat.
Really?
That's always on.
How did I not, like, in my memory of last night, I do not remember him having a hat on his head. Like, I remember, like, in my memory, which obviously is fake, I remember seeing the top of his head.
Half the night, this is your phone. You were.
That's true, dude. My night was just banging on my phone in between taking my turns.
Yeah, while I was on the buy, I had to pull up my phone just to show Sean a DIY fix-it video.
Yeah. Spoiler, it did not
work. The video
work.
said, beat your phone.
Basically, it was like an 8-minute long video, but the short version is hit it progressively harder until it comes back on. And if that doesn't work, do it again.
There doing this? Is that why I looked at her? What is Sean doing? He's like, he's beating his phone. Anyways, it gets back on track. I could see cards getting semi-limited. I mean, why not? Like
I just don't know what they would do.
Yeah,
I think there are certain cards where it's just like, don't. Just why would you bother?
I feel like
HPD.
Anyways, I feel like them taking.
No, I don't care, Sean. If they can have Emissary of Hope at 4, we can have HPD at 2.
That's completely different card.
Emissary is basically
completely different
the same card.
No, it's not. Emissary requires you to have a target in security.
Brandon knows what I'm talking about. Brandon knows what I'm talking about.
Did someone say that last night? Did someone say that last night?
No, Chris just has bad takes.
Yeah, he does. Professional bad takes.
No, it's from the Facebook. You don't remember we talking about that post? He says it's the Gundam. It's the Gundam meme where he's holding up like 2 things, or like he's like holding up one thing.
Is this a butterfly?
Yeah, and it's just like they're the same thing, and it was Emissary of Hope and HPD, and he's like, they're the same thing.
Yeah, they are not the same card. They're both very powerful cards, but they are far and away different cards.
Like Emissary of Hope actually, like requirements. Like I know everybody's gonna say, "Oh, HPD has requirements," but in every deck that plays HPD, no, it doesn't. You're getting it for free. Emissary, like if you have your opponent at 0 security, it's a dead card.
Yes, or if they just don't have a target in there. Sometimes I've gotten Ben down to where he's activated it and nothing's been in there, so he just paid 1 memory for no reason.
Exactly. You can tell who's like. Yeah, you can tell who's like good and who's not, because Ben is not just gonna trigger that thing and be like, hope something's in there. He's gonna wait until he's done something, seen what's in there, and then know, okay, now I can trigger it.
Mhm.
Like, if you're just freeballing that thing, you're just slamming it down. There's something in there, and then
There's
you're like,
probably something.
oh wait, there wasn't. Yeah, like you're not doing that. Come on, guy, be dumb. Don't waste that card. Like, hold on to, you know. Now there will be some times where you're like, if I activate this, if I don't activate this, I lose. Like, okay, sure. Like, it's the last ditch
That's
thing.
when he would
but,
do
like,
it.
don't
Is
just
I'd put his back against the wall.
yeah.
Do you
Don't
think
be like don't be like turn 3 and be like, I hope something's in there.
I
Now
mean,
you've wasted it.
Yeah, speaking of Emissary, do we think that could be a card that can go to like semi-limited? I don't think it needs to, but I feel like
I could.
I personally don't think it's that good. Like, I think it's a very strong card. I don't think it's good enough to like go on the limited list. Yeah.
I think it's an average card in most players' hands. In really good players' hands, it's like one of the best cards in the game. Like, it's such a free card. It's like you said, Sean, Rapidmon for free.
Well, I mean, that's one memory technically, but yes.
Rapidmon to gain memory if you have TKs.
Yeah.
I was talking about Pata into Rapid, but yeah, I mean, you can Emissary into Rapid too.
Is also really good too.
Yeah, that too. But like, it's like a very good card in certain players' hands, not everyone's hands.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain cards that, like, there's some who will just burn Hammer Sparks for free. They're just like, oh, 0. I need this one memory. It's like, but like good players, they're gonna hold on to that.
And your opponent has a memory center on the board.
Yeah, right. Like that kind of stuff. Like, or like certain cards are obviously gonna be better in certain players' hands. I think that's just one of them that can be like taken advantage of in very good players' hands.
I agree. Based on them taking Savior and Tommy from 1 to 4, I don't think they're really interested in semi-limiting cards, because I think those 2 cards would probably have been better as like bringing 2 to test them out, but they were just like, put them at 4. So maybe down the road they might think about that, but I forget exactly what language they used in their ban list updates that makes me think that that's just not a consideration for them, but I don't think they're even thinking about that.
Because like
I want to go ahead, Bryn.
Oh yeah, the take I saw was somebody was talking about Apocalypse, which again, everybody's complaining about Apocalypse. That's the big thing to complain about right now. And their argument was, sure, if they get their combo and they pop off and they happen to see one of 2 Apocalypse, if you out it, they're half done. They have one more chance at Apocalypse, and from there you can steamroll them. But I think that just completely kills the deck. I think the problem is the Garu engine was so generically good that it let you turbo into the Apocalypse. So, I mean, for me, I think limiting to 2 is a possibility. I just don't think we're at that point where there are cards that need to be hit to 2. Like, I think I agree with Sean. Savior, Jet, Tommy, Gray X. I think they all could have been at 2, and they could have tested it out at that. I think that'd been fine.
I just want to be in Bandai. I want to see how they test this stuff.
Hope you speak Japanese.
Don't you wonder that kind of stuff? Like, how are they doing this over there? Like,
I am curious what their thought process is.
There's no way for them. I wonder this about card games in general.
R&D
how do they test? Yeah, how do they test this stuff? Like,
it feels like they don't.
Sometimes I'm pretty sure they don't, but
yeah.
HQ exists. I don't think they do.
Yeah, Mega Digimon Fusion exists.
I know Brandon and you, Sean, don't care about this at all, but I love it. It's Marvel Snap. One of the lead balancers is so. But no, hear me out.
Okay.
It has such good community support because, I mean, again, there's no way it's even close to the same amount of cards in any of these other card games, so it's way easier to balance, obviously. But the lead test guy who does everything, he's worked with Magic and stuff like that. I'm spacing on his name right now, but he is so vocal on every little change they make, and it's nice. It's actually nice. This is what their thought process is. This is why he's doing this. This is why they're changing this. This is how long they've been testing stuff. And at the same time, that can be a backlash too, because there were some changes that they said they had in for weeks, but then waited to put in until the card was already it was like a battle pass card, Like everyone purchased it and they were like, well, we had these changes in like weeks ago. So it was like they waited for people to buy it and then nerfed the card. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff like that too.
That's
that
probably
can be
the
backlash.
company's fault. They
right.
probably mandated that. Like, hey, make sure you don't nerf the Battle Pass card until everybody's got it.
Yeah, that was probably someone up higher up making that call. I agree.
But there are things like that where it's like I wish we could hear from them way more often. Like every time we get a balance change in Marvel Snap, we get full descriptions for like every reason why, and it's just like nice seeing that kind of stuff. It's like I wish like more companies were like that. Like they would explain why they're doing this a little bit more. Like I know they give a little
communication.
Yeah, like this is what we're thinking of. These are cards we're looking at and stuff like that. Like not from Bandai, from the R&D people, like the people who are actually like testing this kind of stuff. Like I want to hear from them. Like, yeah, like why are they doing this kind of stuff? Like what are their thoughts? But we're never gonna get that.
Yeah, I think they're just too. I just don't think they're too big, and I don't think they care enough to.
From my understanding, the American offices, if they even exist, don't have any say in anything. It's all the Japan home offices.
It would have to be translated and stuff like that, and
yeah.
We have a very good community, I will say. Like if you're a part of the Facebook group, whenever reveals are happening and stuff like that, we get them very quickly. We get them translated very quickly. So I feel like that community would be very good reporting on that stuff. But it's on Bandai to actually, say something.
Well, since they're a Japanese-based company and we know stuff about Sony, they don't like playing well with others.
Oh, and Nintendo.
Yeah. And Nintendo, they don't.
Set in their ways.
I do appreciate the little tidbit of information they provide to us in the ban list updates. Like they have a little blurb underneath each card explaining like kind of why they hit it. Sometimes it's BS or it smells like BS. Yeah. Whenever they hit Savior to 1, they were like, this deck was too good for too long. And then they said the same thing for Jet. Like those two cards got hit for the same reason.
Didn't you guys
just because of Japan?
Didn't you guys just announce a new Jesmon starter deck with a new level 5 Savior? No, that's not why.
Yeah, that's separate. No. Yeah. We just hit this card because people are only playing Jesmon. Also, we're about to release Agumon support to make you play Greymon Tribal forever now. So, and Greymon Tribal's been a deck for how many formats, and they haven't hit anything besides Greymon X.
Yeah.
So some of their reasoning is obviously BS, but most of it seems like the truth.
I will say this, guys, start investing in BT14 WarGreymons. That card will soon be limited to 1, so you guys need to play as soon as possible. You need to play all 4 of your copies right now, okay? Before they hit this. Yes, before they hit it, okay? Just like the BT14 Agumons, okay? Buy it out. Get ready. They're going to limit both to 1, okay? We got to play this card. I can get an emergency ban list.
It's so annoying that Patamon is so good. And they were like, let's make Agumon similar, but just fail miserably.
All right, so Sean, what was your topic? Or did you have something else you wanted to say?
Nah, I'm fine. I hate
about this Agumon.
I hate how good people think the new cards are. Like, I get that they're okay. Like, they're decent cards. Besides the level 4 and the Metal Ace, they're both pretty bad. But the Agumon and the WarGreymon are okay. The tie is also just terrible, but
this is leading right into your topic.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
The Agumon and WarGreymon are okay cards. Like, I don't actually think they are objectively bad cards. They're just bad when you compare them to the cards we already have for the deck, and you consider cutting other cards that I think are better to put those in your deck. That's when I think they're bad.
Why would you cut it for the Raid WarGreymon?
Exactly. Like, there's no Raid WarGreymon does what the Secret WarGreymon does, but better.
But better, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like somebody walks up to you and says, "Here's a plain hot dog," and then somebody else walks up to you and says, "Here's a filet mignon cooked by Chef Gordon Ramsay."
This is when you're already eating a filet mignon, and someone comes up and says, "Hey, do you want this hot dog? It's newer than that steak." And you're like, "I mean, it's newer, so it must be better, right?"
Yeah.
It's
recency bias, guys. That's recency bias.
But people will be like, but it's such a good combat card. Okay, but on turn 1, when you open up your first 5 cards, do you want to see that card, or do you want to see the Raid WarGreymon card?
And it's not even a good comeback card. Like, if it gave you Rush,
best comeback card.
If it gave you Rush when you warped into it, I think it would actually be a consideration to play in like some number.
Playable, yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Because then you could hard play an Agu and then warp into him, and then like potentially come back on your opponent by like messing up their board a little bit. But how is that a comeback card? If your opponent clears your board, you're playing a 1-stack deck, you're not going to have an Agumon and Raising to warp. So like they clear your stack, you just lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you have to play Analog Youth, duh.
So going right into Sean's topic, which was, this leads right into it.
So Ultimate Cup format testing. So it appears that over the past like couple of years, Bandai's been using Ultimate Cups to test potential things they want to do. Like we tested mulligans, we tested side decks. We've been testing monocolor rules, which everyone's pretty tired of at this point, and thank God they finally changed it to something else for the December Ultimate Cups.
Unique ban list.
Yeah, unique ban list also, yes. Good. They've been testing out like potential changes on the ban list. I'm looking for them to commit to cutting HPT to 0 on the official ban list, but for some reason they just don't have it in them to do it.
Wait, was HPT in RB1?
Yes, it was.
Of course. So even in
Ulti Cup, so the good card.
So the new Ulti Cup rules are basically like a kind of a set rotation kind of deal, where it's just like a certain block of cards you have access to. And in that block, if you want to play Greymon Tribal, you do have to play BT14 WarGreymon and the BT14 Agumon. In that block, those cards are decent. I don't think Greymon Tribal is going to be the best deck in that format, though. I think it's probably going to be a blue deck, like it has been for most of this year in Ultimate Cups. But
yeah, you can play just straight up Ulforce because you get most of the Ulforce line. Not the BT11. You play BT2. You have
get
Sora Joes. You have Bukamon from BT14.
What Ulforce do you have access to, Brandon?
BT2. The original.
Oh
He's
my
in RB1.
God.
He's in RB1.
I
think you have Ulforce 0 as well.
You don't play Ulforce 0, dude.
No, you wouldn't, but I'm just saying you could.
I think Luga's going to run all over this.
Yeah,
probably.
I think depowered Lugamon is probably going to be one of the best decks.
What's competing with it?
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty shocking. There's not much.
I think a blue Source Strip deck, potentially the Jellymon deck.
Just about to say.
I think that's going to be very good in that format, because I think that deck on paper is pretty solid. It's just not good compared to what we have.
That Gomamon deck is pretty good.
It'd be pretty slept on, honestly, at this point.
I think maybe that with an Ulforce top end. Maybe I'll cut this out. Maybe I'll cook something, because I'm playing in those Ulti Cups. So
hey, let me know. I'll build Lugamon Ulti Cup and we'll test it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through and like seriously look at the cards we have access to determine how exactly I want to. Dude, you know what else we have access to in Ulti Cup format?
What's Omni? Oh yeah, that WarGreymon, yeah, Black War.
Yeah. This might unironically
It'll be good eventually.
Get that disgusting normal art off the screen.
Dude, it's the printing out of RB1. That's why I have it in front of me.
Do I need to pull out the alt art? I'll do it.
I mean, my alt arts are like 5 feet away from me over there in a binder.
He's got like framed. He's got it framed up on the wall.
You know,
he's like this. He's got a little plaque under it. Will be good eventually.
When I finally give up on that card, I probably will just frame it, like just frame all 4 copies and just be like, won't be good eventually. So
Cope is out.
And then some combo comes out that's broken. He's got a little hammer break in case of emergencies.
In case of emergency support. So there actually is a card that I don't know when we're going to get because it's a promo that actually makes that card good. Like
the Zubamon?
Yeah, and this isn't Copium. Like, I think that card will actually be played if we get the Zubamon promo, because
I think it's a box hopper for either EX5 or BT15. It's one of the two.
I hope it's EX5 because I want to pop off on somebody. So the Zubimon promo, you can tuck under a Digimon by like playing it, just like the cards from the starter deck and the Ragnarlord starter deck, and it gives the Digimon that's on top of it raid if you have a black Digimon in play. So it gives Black War raid, and if you give Black War piercing with the BT12 metal, you can attack over your opponent's entire board and also pierce every time you swing over something. So you can just clear an entire board while checking all your security.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so I think it'll actually be playable once we get that Zubimon. Until we do, though, it's obviously hot garbage. But
can't play it in this new Ulti Cup format.
No, you cannot play the Zubimon in the new Ulti Cup format.
Which I think
you could when it actually comes out, right? Because isn't it any card that releases in like promos and stuff like that?
We don't,
because you'll have access to BT11, Agumon and Greymon because they're coming out in tournament packs, right?
Yeah, we have those, but I can't play the Zubimon.
This one, the one we're just talking about.
No, you can't play the Black WarGreymon either. Did that get reprinted?
I just held up. The card I held up was from RB1. We don't have the Zubimon yet, Brandon.
Well, yeah, we don't have it yet. I'm saying once we have it.
Yeah, but the Ulti Cups are in December. We don't get that until like January.
Potentially January, yeah.
It's not potentially. It's officially January.
Well, I was going to say, Ulti Cups aren't going to just end at December, right? I mean, we had the monocolor Ulti Cup for so long.
We're going to get some in January for some reason, but I don't know if they're going to change the rules for those or not.
Oh, yeah, fair.
I don't mind. What do you guys? I don't mind them using Ulti Cup to test stuff. I do think it's a little skewed though, because people couldn't play Hunters, right?
Yeah, you straight up can't play decks like that. You can't play Hunters or any DNA decks for the most part.
That was like the only thing that kind of skewed that last Ulti Cup format was like, because Hunters was just completely unplayable. Like you couldn't play cross.
You couldn't play cross deck. Yeah.
You couldn't play stuff like that, and then they went and hit Mirage, which outside of Ulti Cup was like a mid to average deck. Like it was a good deck. Don't get me wrong, but like it wasn't dominating like it was in that format. Like blue, when you have to play only that one color, like blue is very good.
Blue is a very good base color to begin with.
Blue is the best generic color, unfortunately, just because draw power is really good.
Insane.
And source stripping is really good. Bouncing is really good. It used to be yellow, but not for long. And it's been blue for a long time.
Real quick, and why is Greymon X still on the limited list when a card like Zudomon exists? It's literally its hardest of counters because you can just snipe it out of their source and suddenly they have no protection.
Mm-hmm.
Just take it off. Just put it to 4.
I mean, it's not at 1 because of the protection it provided, but I agree with you. It should go to 4.
Yeah, it's at 1 because it turbos into cards faster. But literally, Chris, what happened to you today?
He promoted a Patamon, Digivolved into a GeoGreymon, and ended up with like literally off one card, off just the Patamon into the Geo. His one of and his security into the Geo. He had like 5 card advantage on me already.
So I'm looking over there at the Greymon X, and I'm like, he's a problem? Okay. At least the Greymon X forces you to play on the board.
I'm looking at Jet Selfiemon, I'm like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyways, like we were saying before Sean abruptly left us and edited it all out. I'm glad because this upcoming Ulti Cup, they are allowing multicolored decks, right?
Yeah. The only limitation is the card pool.
Yeah, I was about to say, too bad. Like they're still neutering decks like Hunters because they don't exist.
Hunters is out again.
I mean, lots of decks don't exist.
Yeah, like Garu's out.
I just think Hunters was like the best multicolored deck, and now you can't even play that. Like, how you best like formats? Well, I guess if they're gonna do a set rotation, which I think at this point I might be okay with. I don't know. Like, I think it might be okay if we got a couple more sets in and then they stop. Like if they did like it from right here and then like did it for like the next couple sets, that'd be cool. It would kill so many decks though, like cards that people want. Like imagine if you wanted to play in a tournament right now, like, and you're gonna have to, Sean, and you're only able to use the Agumon cards that they're allowing you to. Like even at locals, like they were like, hey, this is what it is. Like that would suck. Like you couldn't play Agumon and want to compete.
Yeah, sorry, your BT1 WarGreymon is garbage. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, like
why couldn't that be reprinted in RB1, man?
Right. Like I don't mind set rotation, but it will kill it kills a lot.
I don't think they're actually going to do a full set rotation, like, officially.
No, I don't think so either. It kills value of cards. It kills
it tanks value of cards.
Yeah, like it kills people's buying product because they don't want to invest because their cards are going to eventually tank in price.
I think it tanks creativity too.
Yeah. Because then you end up with sets where it's just like, hey, this is the exact same card. Have fun pulling it for the 5th time.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah, because they would probably have to have like a base set that they release.
Yeah, staples.
Mm.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I could see them doing more. I don't want to. Well, it is kind of scummy. And this is like my business mind coming out, where they would just be like, "Oh, but we're gonna give you another reboot set, and you can play some of these older cards, but you have to buy it from the reboot set and have the little printing."
They wouldn't do that.
You know, I'm just saying, like, if I'm running a business and I want to make that money, and I know, like, oh, you want to play your
if you want to kill your card game,
Greymon?
Do that.
Yeah, you want to play your security check +1 Greymon? Well, you got to play it, but you got to buy it from.
You got to play this 30-cent copy out of this new set.
Yeah, you can do what Yu-Gi-Oh did. Give it a couple decades for your game to kind of get really old, where old cards are very hard to find, and then just unlimit one of the cards that's from those old sets. Like what was it called? Raigeki. Was very hard to get your hands on, and then short print it in the next reprint set. So everybody buys the reprint set to get Raigeki.
Money.
Didn't they do that with what's it called? Red Eyes. Brand was so heated about this. He was so mad.
Don't get me started. How are you gonna give us a 10 with a promo in the 10 in Japan, but now the promo, right? The promo that the 10 is based on, which is supposed to be a guaranteed card for buying the 10, you have to pull it from back now.
I mean, that sounds like standard operating procedure for Konami. Do you know in original Phantom Darkness, Dark Arm Dragon was a rare in Japan? Yeah. And they made it a secret rare in America because they were like, dude, this card's really good. Money. Yeah, they don't care about their player base.
Americans have money.
They do.
They buy
do
cards.
Have money. Yes.
They buy shiny card.
Yeah.
Max price.
And for that reason, Dark Arm was like $300 or something back in the.
I love the idea where it's just sitting there and they're like, okay, so we have this card and we have this card. What's the difference? They're the same card. One's shinier. I want that one. I'll pay you more for that one. And they're sitting there like, oh my, you're telling me we can print the same card over and over again with just like a little difference on it, and they're like, they'll buy it for more price. Yeah. Okay, cool. Just keep doing that. Like at least in Digimon, we get like
it's different
arts on the different arts. But like imagine like spending like 3 times sometimes like more on a card because it's like a ghost rare. But damn, does that ghost rare look so good?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm guilty of it.
The best rarity.
I mean, we're all guilty.
No, see, I don't agree with you. I like the other one. I don't care what you say.
I don't like how dark the art is. I like it. I like the simplicity of this one. But, I mean, the absolute tilt factor that was when I got this from T Player after paying for this. I was so... Waited like 2 weeks to get this.
If you're watching this, where's my Korikakumon? I know you're out there. Send it already. I paid for that. I've gotten every card I've ordered but my last Korikakumon. Send it. I know you're watching this, okay? You better be. Okay? Send it. Where is he at?
I'm surprised you haven't hit the deadline for... Because when did you order that card?
Like 2 weeks ago, November 20th is the deadline.
Okay. Because, like, I remember Bandless Night when I ordered all my stuff. Like, the deadline for that stuff was like a week and a half ago.
No, remember I had to wait a little bit to buy mine. I waited a little bit because I was stuck in a dairy
hoping they would
cooler.
stable again.
Yeah, which they kind of did. Like I didn't have to pay 20 for all of them. I paid like 13.
Yeah, Box Topper Tommies are like super cheap now, and people were paying like $6 for a playset like the week that it got unlimited, and now it's back to being about as cheap as it was beforehand.
Me and Chris over here being smart.
Heavy L's. Yeah, it's because people looked through all their stuff and they were like, dude, I have a bunch of these because, you know, it's been at one for a year and a half.
Yeah. I've been saying it. How long have I been saying it, guys? Every time I'd flip through that binder, I'd get to that Tommy and say, it's coming back. It's just sitting there. It was always sitting in the binder, all 4 of them. I'm saying, it's coming back.
And yet, the week before the ban list hit, who was the only person saying Tommy could come off? Me.
You're right. That random face post I saw.
Oh yeah, that one guy who had the meme up before the ban list even posted.
So I also have all 4 of my pre-release stamped Jets. I never got rid of them when it got limited because I think it'll come back.
Yeah.
But like,
it's definitely possible.
Yeah, but like other cards that got hit, like I had 4 pre-release stamp Calling from the Darknesses. I sold my extra 3 as soon as it got hit because I was like, this card's never coming back to 4. This card's way too good.
Much value for free, essentially.
Yeah, it's a really good card, and it's just.
Yeah. I mean, be able to kill your own Eismon while Eismon was still at 4, and then just get free advantage off it to recycle your Eismon. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Purple would have to like completely change mechanics for them to ever even think about bringing that card back.
Oh yeah, that card's never coming off. There's no way. As long as the game runs, I don't foresee that card ever coming off the list.
Yeah,
it's just
we'd have to get some crazy floodgate like Macro Cosmo or something that puts the trash in somewhere else entirely.
Dude, if we get a banish zone in this game, purple just immediately just becomes a non-existent color.
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah, no, like that color dies immediately.
I think instead of doing like a banish zone, it's like, oh, if a card is sent to the trash, just put it at the bottom of your deck.
Okay, they still don't become it. That's not a color anymore. Purple just loses.
Yeah, no, they're still dead. Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to play this rookie. Hopefully you can out it. Otherwise, nothing goes to trash.
Yeah. Get riggedy wrecked.
Yeah, you lose, I guess. Extend handshake.
A little back on topic. I think this new Ulti Cup, I do think it's interesting that they're almost testing a pseudo like set rotation.
We think they are. We think they are.
I mean, it's essentially a set rotation, but only for the Ulti Cup. I think they're just trying to action the game up a bit. Fair enough. I think people are sick and tired of like only 1 or 2 colors topping. But with what we have access to, guess what 2 colors are going to be topping? Blue and purple.
Yeah. Blurple.
They didn't really solve the problem. Like, the only thing you did is you got rid of Shine Greymon.
I mean, they got rid of Shine Greymon with the ban list for the Ulti Cup. Because you could only play 1 Marcus, and that killed the deck. 1
Marcus.
That's why I knew they weren't going to limit Marcus, because that would literally kill the deck.
Let my boy out.
What?
Marcus did nothing wrong.
Yeah, he didn't. That's why he didn't get hit.
Exactly.
When hitting that Geo was irrelevant. Yeah. That Geo got hit for other decks. It didn't even affect Shine Greymon.
Yeah. Imagine the vaccine deck has access to 4 Geo Greymon.
Oh, no, don't.
That's big facts, dude. Yeah, that actually would have been a huge issue because how often they would promote a Pata and just play out a Tamer for free off the Geo, and then Evo into Rise, play another Tamer for free, Evo into Rise X, play another Tamer, and then Evo into Feet Picks, maybe put a Tamer on top of their security.
Feet Picks.
Yeah. That's all I think of when I see Digimon.
Digimon, yeah.
I don't even think he's a vaccine. Obviously, you wouldn't play him in that deck, but like, why not?
Well, he just played Jedi.
He's clearly got some kind of foot fetish over here.
Nah.
Only thing he sees are feet.
It is the front and center part of the, like, that's all you see.
I don't just look at their feet, Sean. Okay, I look at their personality and their card text.
If I wish I had a picture of one in front of me.
I'm literally looking through them right now to find them.
Look around and act like you don't have right next to you that you keep looking down at. Like, yeah.
Yes. Can't wait to look at this later. Dude,
He doesn't know he's sitting right next to me.
Best card in format right here. This card.
Yes, it is. Yes, sir.
It's such a shit. Like, this art is so beautiful.
So good.
Oh, there he is. Dim feats.
That's some good card text. That's some good card text right there.
Like, I wish they had put this art on a better card. Like, that would have been really cool.
That looks like a really good card for like a Gaia Force, like a nice art for
like an alt-art Gaia Force. Yeah, that would have been sick.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what alt-art Gaia Force looks like. I don't think I still have mine.
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Hey guys.
Jenai. Okay, yeah. Yeah, alt-art Gaia Force does have a WarGreymon throwing a Gaia Force.
Yeah.
Focus. I don't think this is a hot take. I still think the starter deck super ultra rare is still a better art. The one from the starter deck 16, the alt art for that. I still think that's just generically better than the BT14 art.
What card are you talking about?
The super ultra rare WarGreymon Ace.
Why do you keep saying super ultra rare? What? That's not a rarity.
Okay, what am I supposed to call it? The ghost rare? It's not like the
Greymon Ace. Oh, the chase rare.
The chase rare, yeah, that guy. This guy right here.
Yeah, better than what?
The BT14.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, I think Mel said that they pulled one of the chase cards.
What'd they do with it?
Really? That's cool. Probably just kept it.
Yeah, I think they just kept it. Because what are they? They're the
they're just alt arts of the ace cards
from BT14.
I think they said that they pulled it might have been Magna, maybe.
No, like the English exclusive alt arts.
Yeah, I think it was Magna.
Yeah, it's either English exclusive or the Paladin mode.
I think it was the English exclusive because I think I heard them talking about that as well.
Yeah.
Mm. I'm not going to know if I pull an English exclusive whenever I open my case until I double check because I don't remember what they look like.
Well, Magna looks like he stabbed somebody.
Quit talking. I don't. I accept that I don't know the difference, and I'm not going to like retain what you're about to tell me because I've seen the images, Brandon.
Yeah, he's not going to know the difference.
Yeah, I don't care enough to know the difference right now.
Sean, just pull up your phone and look real quick.
Too soon.
Not soon enough.
On the bright side of that, I'm gonna probably have to upgrade and get a new phone. Whatever the newest
higher quality gameplay.
Whatever the newest Galaxy is.
You're gonna have at least one person in the comments be like, "Oh, you don't get an iPhone? They have better cameras."
That's literally not. That's objectively incorrect. That's been wrong for years now.
Listen, Apple stands are Apple stands. They
are, dude. Apple people will be Apple people.
This is Digimon, okay? This isn't tech talk. God.
I do want to say one thing though. So
you brought up the phone.
Yeah, you did it. This is your fault. So my sister's an iPhone person.
Same.
And she sent me a meme one time because she's self-aware, and it's two people. It's a Samsung user arguing about like why they prefer Samsungs or Android or whatever, and then it's an iPhone person arguing about why they prefer iPhones. And the Android was like listing all of the like better specs and all this stuff, and the iPhone person was all they said was, "I don't like it when people's text be green."
Yeah, be green.
Yeah,
it's coming. Yep.
And it's true. That's like the only thing they have to stand on is like, your stuff doesn't interact with iMessage or whatever.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, I can't believe we're talking about this. it was like people who just started with iPhones. It's really hard for them to just get off of it just because they just stick with it.
Dude, I hate the
don't
interface
know.
on those things.
I
just
never
don't know how
started.
Yeah.
I never started with iPhones. So I've always I literally just got a Samsung Galaxy, and that's just what I've always had. I feel like there's a lot of that. You know, like you just get your first. There's no transitioning. Like not a whole lot of them transition unless you have a really experience.
Yeah, the UI for iPhones for me is terrible. Like not having a hard back button, I'm like, dude, get this away from me.
Yeah, right.
But imagine though that you just started with that. You didn't even know what the other one was. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're like that. If you hand them a Samsung, like their minds are gonna be blown.
I got a smartphone before iPhones existed, so like
Yeah, I feel like it's hard for Apple people to let go of their Apple products, probably because the glass from the back of their screen is just stuck in their hand, and they just can't.
It's from the spidered glass.
Sean, you're an old man. Do you remember those like bricks that we would have to carry around? They were like phones, but also like walkie-talkies.
Yeah, are you talking about the gray ones with the rubber antenna on the top? Yeah.
Yeah.
The original cell phone.
Bro, my mom was obsessed with those like razors. Like she loved those things.
Oh yeah, the Motorola Razor.
Those were the iPhones before iPhones.
Those were the iPhones.
Yeah.
Those were the iPhones.
Yeah, those were like you were the it person if you had one. They were pretty sick. Looking back on it now, they were super mid, but it's because it was a Motorola product, I think.
Let's go back in time. Let's bring back the smartphones where you had a physical keyboard. This is the whole
dude. It took
lid open.
Bro, I could type on that thing, man.
Yeah, I do miss having physical keyboards. I finally accepted my fate when I got my first Galaxy, though.
Yeah, I mean, I do often use swipe to text, but that's sometimes the
dude never
for that thing is whack.
That invention was
like
so
if I'm using it for like one hand.
Nah, miss me with the swipe to text because if you hesitate. It's over.
Oh, it's
and I think through what I'm gonna say, so like I'm like
sometimes I'll mess up the word as I'm swiping, and I'll just sit here and do this until it autocorrects. And then just hit back once and just get rid of it.
I always immediately turned off swipe to text as soon as I got a new phone. I was like off. I don't ever want to accidentally do this. But yeah.
All right, boys. So is there anything else we want to talk about in our little tech corner?
Man, I really want to talk about how good Secret Rare WarGreymon is.
I'm telling you, it should be the title. Make it the title, you'll get the clicks. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, clickbait thumbnail. You have to have your face going like this with Secret Rare WarGreymon right here. Like your eyes are going to be bulging and everything. Secret WarGreymon is going to be here, and the text is going to say, "Best Secret Rare in game?" ? With like a red circle around
best
it and an arrow pointing at it.
It's the best WarGreymon ever printed because it's the most recent. Why wouldn't it be the best one? You know?
Exactly.
I told you guys before the podcast, but I just want to say that was Caleb's. Whenever I looked at his hand and saw that he was playing all the new stuff, like including the stuff that's like objectively bad in his Greymon deck, his explanation or his reasoning for it was it's new, so why wouldn't it be better?
Yep.
And I was like, I mean, you'd think that, right? But it's not. So like you have to think about that. You have to read the cards and be like, oh, this is not better than what I already have.
Logic is a little flawed.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that it would be the best stuff if it's the most recent, but it's not
how it always works.
Yeah, it's such a joke of a wave of support for Greymon because like it's the first Greymon support we've had that's not Shine in several sets, I think.
Yeah.
But it's just not actual. Like it's not actual support.
Because I mean, the last true to form Agumon support we got was BT12, with the rest of the Pro Tag stuff.
Oh yeah, I guess that was pretty recent.
I mean, that was 3 ago, right? Because we had the EX set.
It was months. Set. It was months ago. It was like 5 months ago, I think, like 5-ish.
I mean, that 6. Was the Atlanta trip.
Yeah, it's been a long time since BT12 came out.
Yeah.
so long that I forgot that was the most recent wave of support we got for Greymon. And those cards are all really, really good.
Yeah. Yep. Like, they're genuinely really good cards.
Yep. And then they were like, hey, let's give them a little more, but like...
Yeah, dial it back. Bring it back.
Yeah. Keep it from being the best deck in the format, pretty please.
Yeah. Like, go back to BT5, look at those cards. Worse than those cards.
Yeah.
Kosher.
I will say that I think this is probably, like, because I did say that this wasn't even my top 5 of WarGreymon cards. I think it's probably my top 5. Like, I think
your options are kind of limited. Like, you're not going to put BT5 WarGreymon on that list.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's why it's in top 5, is because there's not really many better choices. Like, BT12 obviously is number 1. BT1 is number 2 for me.
Well, you also have to remember we have the yellow WarGreymon.
That would be number 3. Yellow WarGreymon would be number 3 WarGreymon.
Yeah, I have an entire list of WarGreymons pulled up if you want me to go through them.
Oh, let's rate WarGreymons. That'll be...
All right, this is a surprise topic.
WarGreymon ratings.
Okay. So, let's start off hot with the first ever WarGreymon printed. Starter deck WarGreymon. Where are we putting it?
That one is probably pushed out of the top 5 by the BT14 one. If it had Blitz, it would be significantly better, but obviously it was printed well before Blitz was even a thought. The evoing for 4 is what keeps it from being really good. If it evoed for 3, it would still be a good card.
I mean, now that you have Tai Kamiya and like stuff like that, you can make it cheaper.
You do, but at the same time, like, that requires some setup and...
Yeah. And then, of course, one of the best WarGreymons ever printed, BT1 WarGreymon.
That one's number 2 on my list for sure.
Easy. Then, of course, we have the BT2 WarGreymon, the first black WarGreymon. Not black WarGreymon, the first black WarGreymon.
Yeah.
There's a little pause right there.
That's probably like...
I think it's blocker and reboot. That's pretty cool.
Oh, I remember. That card was really good back then.
It's only 11k though.
Yeah, it's only being 11k.
I wish it was like 12. I wish it was 12.
To beef your DP back in the day with like your tie and stuff like that. It just wasn't worth.
It was literally tie and like Chimeramon, and that was it. Like, those are the only like on your opponent's turn buffs. I think that one is better than the starter deck one. So like, it's like slightly above that on my list. Because like you could potentially play that now.
Yeah, are we including Black Wars?
Black Wars no, just WarGreymons.
Okay,
if it was Black War, most of the WarGreymons would be pushed out by the Black WarGreymon.
Yeah, for real. Like, that's not a joke.
Because guess what else would count?
Black War X.
Gaiomon.
Oh yeah, Gaiomon would count too. Yes.
All right, so next we have BT4 WarGreymon, yellow WarGreymon.
Yeah, that one's probably number 3 on my list.
Yeah, it's like, that card's still good to now. Is it a vaccine, Brandon?
It is a vaccine.
It is a vaccine. It is.
So, I mean,
you could play it.
Some people are actually playing it.
You could give that thing jamming after evoing into it for 1 memory off the emissary card, and have a Rise Greymon underneath it, give it 2 checks, and just swing twice with jamming.
Yeah, like, you don't even care about getting rid of your security, especially since like it's not even getting rid of it because you're adding it to hand.
Yeah, you're just going +1.
Good.
And the art.
The art is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody, for the newer players who don't know what this thing looks like. Yeah, it's one of those good alt arts. Next, we have BT5 WarGreymon. Yeah. Honestly, I forgot what BT5 WarGreymon even does.
He deletes a blocker on Evo, I think. And then he has an inheritable that like deletes like a 3k.
And the worst part is, right? Doesn't even generically just delete a blocker. You have to have Greymon and stuff in your sources, which you're always going to.
Yeah, back then though, that was hard to do because BT5 we did not have a Greymon deck.
Show me the art for that one. I forget what that one even looks like. It's so bad. Yeah, no, that's
yeah, it's a rare. That's why you didn't remember it.
I've never put that in a deck.
It was kind of because it was one of the first full art cards because this and the Black WarGreymon from the same set like made a full art.
I've never put that card in a deck. Never. Not once.
Literally never. Yeah.
Yeah, I played it in pre-release, but that was it.
Now I'm gonna save the EX for. No, we might as well skip straight to EX because EX came out about right here.
Yeah, it came out after BT6.
EX, well, I was gonna say BT6 doesn't have.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like it should be the next. Like if we're going chronologically, it should be the next one.
Yeah. So then next, of course, EX1 WarGreymon.
Blitz.
Just a better version of that other card.
Yeah, just straight up, just better than the BT5 WarGreymon.
Yeah, it has Blitz, which is good.
You have to have a tamer, I believe, to delete a blocker.
Yeah,
that's the one with Ty on it, right?
No, that's the promo.
This is the classic art.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That one is probably. I mean, if blockers were still a thing, like most of the time, it would be okay. That one's probably like 6.
It's not
maybe?
cracking the top 5.
Yeah,
it's not cracking the top 5.
It's like flirting with it, but it's not quite.
But are we counting? We have to count WarGreymon X Antibody, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be coming up.
Oh, then
so next up,
he's probably gonna be number 3 on my list then.
Yeah. So we have Promo 50, which is the card that came in BT7 as a pack filler, which is the one you think.
If he evoed he's really good. If he evoed for 3, like he would probably see play.
Yeah, I think we need more arts like that. I really. It's like super simplistic, but it looks really cool, and I like the way they're printed.
Yeah, those arts are really sick. Like those, I wish those cards were better because like.
Yeah,
they deserve to see play, but just
I wish the backgrounds too. I like the white background. I like
so
that
nice.
plane in the back.
Yeah, it looks really good. It's like the Tamers from BT12.
Yes.
Right. The contrast makes it look nice.
Yeah, the white background is actually why I prefer regular Art Arena versus Alt Art Arena. The white background is just nice. I know Sean's giving me that dirty look.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway, so next up. BT9, we have WarGreymon X Antibody.
He's number 3, I think, for me.
Yeah, he's really good. Because I think he makes
removal plus memory gain.
He makes like other WarGreymons better too.
Just by existing.
Yeah, he's just like a. Do you know what's a really good counter to vaccine.deck?
Yeah, that.
WarGreymon X. Just Evo into it to pass turn, and every time he does something, you're just like, gain a memory.
That's hilarious.
I was thinking about it while I was playing him. I was like, if I had WarGreymon X, man.
Then of course next was a bunch of Black War stuff, so we're skipping that. And then of course we have BT12, Raid WarGreymon.
Number 1.
He's easy number 1.
That card is that card enables OTKs by itself.
Yeah. Like, it's why when I hear people talk about BT14, it makes me upset, because BT12 does everything BT14 does, with the exception of Evo, better.
You cut out there.
Oh, it does everything BT14 does, with the exception of Warp Evo, better.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't inherently get piercing or an extra security check, but it doesn't need those things because the line gives you piercing. And all of your other stuff gives you the extra checks you need.
Plus, you're getting extra DP, you're getting reboot, and you're unsuspending.
Yeah.
It's just better.
And you have raid forever.
Forever. Yeah, if your opponent can't deal with it, guess what? You're still raiding into them.
Think, Mark. It's just better.
Look what he has to do to imitate a fraction of our power.
That's facts, dude. That meme, that is highly accurate for BT12 WarGreymon and BT14 WarGreymon.
Yeah, so then of course, BT14 WarGreymon. Look at him. He's there. We're talking about him.
I think he's number 5.
So he just barely cracks top 5.
Yeah, I think he barely cracks top 5. We're counting WarGreymon X, and I do think...
Technically, we skipped one. We skipped Ace. We totally forgot about Ace.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
But guys, he has blocker.
Does he? Cool. If he were half red, he would probably be broken.
Yeah, but like if a card is removed from security stack, unsuspend him.
Dude,
per turn.
Legitimately, if he were half red, he would be really, really good.
Agreed.
Because you could just OTK people like you could with BT12 WarGreymon, but you can't because you can't blitz Omni on top of that guy.
Nope. And you can't even proc tie. Like
no, yeah, because he's not red. Like you have to play WarGreymon X antibody in order to like do any kind of combo with him, which is also the case for the BT14 WarGreymon, and that's why that card is not that good.
So we're saying BT12 WarGrey is number 1.
Yeah, number 1 by like
BT1.
a wide margin.
Yeah, BT1.
BT1's number 2.
Number 2 is
X anti.
Yep.
Number 3 is X anti.
BT4 is number 4.
BT4 is number 4.
Yep. And then BT14.
And BT14 is number 5. And I will say that those are kind of interchangeable. So like either one could be 4 or 5.
I think Yellow WarGreymon honestly deserves a spot above the Warp Evo, the BT14, because it was also used in other decks. Like this was your secondary mega in Lord Nightmon back in those days. It was your secondary mega in Metal Garu Jobs. It's your secondary mega in Vaccine. Like it's so splashable in different decks. I really love how generic it is.
Yeah, you can play it in Shine Greymon list if you want to.
Shine Greymon, yeah.
Because it is a yellow Greymon card.
It has a lot of flexibility.
It does. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I think it deserves a spot above the BT14.
Like, it was so hilarious back in the day playing the Metal Garu Jagras deck because both of your inheritables weren't once per turn. So you can neg 12k off of like a one swing. It was actually kind of insane. Because if your opponent didn't see the yellow WarGreymon coming, you just slapped them.
Well, they deserve to lose.
It was fun. Yeah, at that point. It was fun.
It's like walking face first into an ace card, right, Chris?
Ooh, too soon? Nah, not soon enough.
Don't make me leave the call again.
Hey, this week's little title card, it needs to say Chris gets aced. Chris
is
gets
tired. Chris is tired of all the talk about how bad BT14 WarGreymon is, okay? I'm tired of it. Guys, show up to TCG Player, buy them all up, okay? Buy them all up, invest, do it. We need that card right now. I need 4 of them. We just don't get it, guys. You think we're too old now? We just don't understand these cards?
Yeah, that's the problem. It's us.
Yeah, we are the problem.
We're the problem.
Dude, it's so stupid because like Caleb's logic should be sound. If it's more recent, it should be better. But it's just not. It's not the case.
Yeah, Power Creep tells him it's better.
Yeah, it should be. The card came out like 6 months after the other stuff. Like, why wouldn't it be better? But it's because they suck.
All right, Sean. We'll see you, buddy.
I'll see you guys later.
Get out of here.
Oh my god, this guy.